So hi all, if you're in the electronic fields, so you probably know that your room look like a mess and your drawers and closet like a mess, and when you are trying to search for something you find many other things that you were not intent to find. And this is exactly what happened to me here. I was searching for something and then I found this, like exactly like you see it. Probably I have it, I guess, more than 10 years, I'm not joking, and it was in the drawer. And now I open it and then I found this nice kit. What is this kit? You probably understand by looking at it that this is a radio kit. So I wonder if maybe I can try to build it now. But before doing so, I would like to explain a little how it works. Okay, so you can see that this one is based on one chip. This is probably the main chip that's doing everything, almost everything. Beside of this you need an amplifier, so this will be the chip of amplifier to the speaker. So we have a small speaker. We can see here that we have 3 volts, some switches between AM and FM, and this is something that's related to the AM, because I see that it has an AM coil, so it is AM antenna, and this is basically all we have. We have also an LED we can see, and we have one antenna here. This is probably the FM antenna, and it's a simple circuit because we have 2 chips that are doing all the work for us, and eventually, if they wrote everything well, we'll be able to assemble it. Okay, so this is how a PCB looks like. We can see all the components. Each one is marked between what it is. For example, 2 lines is a capacitor, and they made one close component is the resistor. We have here transistor. We have here the tuning. This is a changeable capacitor. This is a potentiometer for the volume, and here we have the speaker. Here we have one chip. Here we have the second chip. So basically what we can do is look at what we see here, and then we have all the components list by the value and the number and the value, and by this we will probably will be able to do all the assemble. Also, it's Chinese. I don't speak, I don't read Chinese and don't speak Chinese, but they are trying to explain about how to know the value of the resistor. This is very simple. While doing it here, I will try to explain you. Basically, we have three colors codes, maybe 4. The 3 is the number, and the third one is number of 0, and this is related to ohm. So if we have, for example, brown, black and red, each color has a code. So brown is 1, black is 0, and then red is 2. So we have 1 0 and 2 0. So it is 1000 ohm, which is 1 kilo ohm. I don't want to explain too much about it, but let's see how it goes. So if I put it like this, you can see that it's not in the correct orientation. It should be like this, and this is how we will try to build everything, and hopefully everything will go fine. I see that some of the chip are without pins, which mean SMD chips, so you have to put them here on the correct area and solder as is. Wow, so many years. Curious to know if this will work. Probably it will work if you're doing everything step by step and reading everything. Will be able to do it. So I will start by showing not all the details one by one, but maybe, you know, some of the things, and we'll be able to see. So let's open without too much wasting time all the components. A lot of components here. Wow, a lot of components. A lot. Okay, we try to put it to the camera. Whoa. Okay, but we'll go for example. Let's see, for example, this is the component that is variable capacitor, and it should be tied to the variable capacitor. I can see it probably here. So if I'm putting it here, it should be something like this. Let's see if it will fit. I need to find this should be, I think this is the, this should be of course the FM. But this, I see that it fit to the AM. Interesting. So it should be something like this. Yeah. So this one was very easy because you see it fit exactly in. So it should be here. You cannot make a mistake with it, hopefully, because this is just a capacitor. So yeah, I don't think you can do you can flip it, because if you flip capacitor, nothing will change. By the way, I can see now that I'm not on the correct side. Should be here, because this is the soldering side. Yeah, of course. So it should be like this. Okay, and now let's go for the IC. This one. So it has 1, 2, 3. It has 8 pins, so it should be probably this one. The 2822. Let's see what it is. It's IC3. It's TDA. TDA is usually amplifier. TDA 2822. Yeah. So we have a mark on the PCB for pin number 1. The orientation is, you see it like this, so it's a little annoying, but yeah, it should be. Sometimes you have to bend a little the pins because it will not fit. Yeah, so we have a mark where is its side, the correct side, pin number 1. Okay, the orientation is a little interesting because it I don't know, it's like, should be like this, and then whoa, but this is this side, so no matter how I put this, yeah, I should put it like this. Amazing. Okay, so I will try to solder it, show you this part maybe. How do I do a good soldering? So first, of course, activate the soldering iron, and then we can start immediately. So when the soldering iron is hot, I'm just putting the iron and try to do it very quick, not too much, and you can see I'm touching barely, about 2-3 seconds each pin. Yeah, so this is already okay. And now for the changeable capacitor, it has some big pins, so it's a little more, let's say, time to solder it. Yeah, I'm doing it very quick. You can see. Yeah, and it's already look amazing. And this is how I will continue the work. Yeah, of course, besides the chips, all the other part, the capacitor and resistor have no polarity, so except the electrolyte capacitor. This small capacitor have no polarity, but this one, the electrolyte, has of course polarity, and you see the minus is where you see the white line. So this is what you should take care about the electrolyte capacitor. Other than this, all the other, the small one, does not have any polarity. So we'll continue, and another problematic switch is probably this one, is the AM FM, and I will show you what is the problem when you're putting it where you have one hand. So sometimes it will fall if you will not catch it while you are doing the first pin. So usually I'm just pressing with my finger beneath the part, trying to do the first pin, and when it is catched well, I'm doing the other one. By the way, this switch has exactly 3 pins, and the 2 on the side are just mechanical hold. By the way, I didn't check about the parts that this should be this one, but I'm sure I have a small one, so this should be the AM/FM. I'm going first for the more problematic parts. This is probably the volume and the on-off button. You see, I'm not even checking in the datasheet, because this is the part for sure. And then doing again, same trick, same method. Here I can leave it on my table because the table is pushing it one side. Okay, you see this joint didn't go well, so I'm doing it again, trying to do it pretty quick, not too much time. Yeah, okay, so you can see soldering look very well. It's not, you should have practice of few years in order to get, after doing these things many hours, so you will be okay with it. Okay, so I will continue and then get back to you when putting more parts. So coming back to the SMT part, because probably this is the most problematic part, because you don't have pins. So you need first to see the polarity. So pin number 1, you can see here pin number 1, and you can see here the area on the PCB that is showing where is pin number 1, and you should be aligned very well before putting the first pin, and then you will be able to solder all the other after you're doing the first one. So you should do it very carefully. Okay, pin number 1, you should try, of course, not to move your bench or your table where you're working, and yeah, something like this, and then you see it moved. So no worries, you can adjust it by your hand. Just make sure that pin number 1 is catched well. Usually I'm trying to work with magnifier, so it will be easier to see. And okay, I will try to move it from the frame, but what you want to do is do it quick. And I will give you another tip for this. Okay, so I've done the first pin. What I'm using in order to not to do short and to do it on the first time very well, I'm using a flux. This is an Amtech flux. Putting all around all the pins. This will remove the short and will enable me to solder it very quick, because you can't hold the soldering iron a lot of time, because it can ruin, of course, the chip. So you will see now. Okay, one side is almost perfect. I'm changing to the other side, doing the same. Okay, you can see that this is perfect soldering. Again, this is very basic to someone that know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you have to do a lot of practice. After doing so, it is good to clean it with ISO profile alcohol. And if you have some tools, brushes or something like this, by the way, you can use any toothbrush for doing it. It will be the same. As you can see, perfect. And we'll continue. This is the most problematic part, probably. Okay, fortunately I found that all the value of the component is written on the PCB, so it's much easier. I don't need to look at the table because I have the numbers. For example, 104 is 100 nanofarad, in the same that written on the capacitor. As you can see, one electrolyte here and one transistor. Transistor also have a polarity. They have marked the way it should be. So about 8 components at the same time. I inserted all of them, and now quickly I will do soldering to all of them, so you can do a very quick job to many parts. Again, I will use magnifier. It is easier to see what I'm doing. So now many components are connected to each other. You can see they're shorted on the PCB, so there is no problem to short them. Again, if you see, all the solder is shorten them because they're already shorted on the PCB. Now after doing this, of course, you need a clipper, cutter, something to cut all the pins. So let's do it. You want to cut them as low as possible so they will not short out. I'm bleeding because one of the tiny wire cut me. No worries, it's nothing. So 8 components at a few minutes, all done. This way I will continue all the other. Okay, so this is how it looks after I built everything. I will try to power up without a lot of, let's say, hope, but let's see. Okay, so LED is working, doing something. FM and AM are doing also. I will close everything now to the box and try to work it out, not in a noisy environment. And let's see if it will work.